haunting sound echoing across the windswept summit of Mount Hakepa on New Zealand's Pitt Island. There, at the bottom of the world, some 800 kilometers east of the capital, Wellington, astronomers will see the first sunrise of the new millennium. Rival islands like Tonga and Kiribati to the north have moved clocks, even datelines, to be first, to no avail.
If we're looking at places where people are actually inhabited, well, it's going to be Pitt Islands. Antipodes, there's other places around the world, rocks in the sea, which are going to be the very first places to see the sunrise, but the first inhabited place is going to be Pitt Islands.
Pitt is the smaller of the Chatham Islands group.
Which set of islands does the sun come up on? Pitt Island! Pitt Island!
The island will herald the new year 45 minutes ahead of the mainland. Its 67 inhabitants will also see the dawn 45 minutes earlier, so they'll be the first to celebrate. Yeah. Life is tough on Pitt. There are no shops and no restaurants. You eat what you can catch. It's survival of the fittest. At Glory Bay on the eastern shore, the last house sits on the edge of tomorrow, the first home on Earth to see the sun in the 21st century. Few foreigners ever venture to this far-flung outpost to see how the islanders have spent the past decade pursuing a policy of global conservation. For the previous 200 years, Pitt's natural resources have been stripped bare by its own people.
We had to wake up and say, well, look, what have we got for our children? What's happening tomorrow? If we go on raping this island, are we doing this? We had to say, look, cut it out.
Conservation and an end to all wars are the millennium messages the island's mayor wants to send to the world.
I think the message will be peace and harmony, brotherhood of man, environmental friendliness.
In a quiet woodland, a handful of tourists is captivated by mysterious carvings dating back 500 years. The tree trunks bear the mark of the Moriori, the indigenous tribe which sailed from the mythical homeland of Hawaii to discover the Chatham Islands. They were pacifists, perhaps the first ever known.
Moriori were the first true pacifists in the world, and they preached peace, and that is the message that we would like to send to the rest of the world to reflect peace in the new millennium.
Peace is the Moriori legacy.
They were so ahead of their time, and the message they had, 200 years ago, is now a universal message, and I think people are appreciating the message of the Morioris more than they used to.
Most of them were literally eaten by Maori invaders as they refused to fight back in 1835. The last full-blood Moriori was Denis Solomon. He died in 1933. A statue in his memory now stands proudly over the coastal scene where the main massacre occurred. Tommy is survived by sons and nephews for whom the beach at Waitangi holds a link with the past and gives hope for the future.
It's history, it cannot be changed, and I think Moriori in general, their wishes for the history, the right stories to be told, but we've got to get on with life and we've got to get on working with those same people.
Moriori and Maori now work side by side as cray fishermen and farmers on the Chatham Islands. The new millennium represents a business opportunity for entrepreneurs like Thomson. He opened a small brewery a year ago. He has great hopes for the millennium celebrations. He's unlikely to be alone in toasting the new century with his very own anniversary ale.
Well, we expect to be selling a fair bit overseas regarding a concept like Taste the Millennium, or A Taste of the Millennium.
Those with a taste for horse racing will also have their thirst quenched. The local racecourse plans a floodlit midnight Millennium Derby.
This is where we'll be having the first races of the Millennium. The majority of the island will be here, and we have a bit of betting going on. This is where you can take your first bet for the 21st century.
But it's a safe bet that if the authorities don't promote Pitt's position as the site of the first sunrise, local residents will find it harder to attract tourists. Sheep farming continues to be a key source of income, but an influx of Millennium visitors from the mainland of New Zealand and overseas would give the economy a major boost. The church congregation is in good voice, but financially the island struggles to make ends meet. The Millennium Dawn will no doubt open new opportunities and bring joy, albeit not necessarily through financial reward.
I would say that day I would thank God for letting us see this millennium, most probably, and it would be to thank him for letting us be here and witness such an occasion.
However, if the Millennium is to be their salvation, islanders need more than scenery to make a profit. Much now depends on their ability to entice to their tranquil shores more than just a few intrepid travelers.